All right, there we go. Okay, you guys can hear me well, right? Just write in the chat if you can at the top to just let us know that. Okay, awesome. Thank you. So thank you so much again, everyone, for joining. And we are so overwhelmed that you are so interested in learning about this project. So yeah, let's not take up too much of your time, and I'll just pass this over to Daniel, and he will start the session with you guys. Okay. So let me just share our screen. Okay, can you see our screen? All right.
All right, guys. Wow, thanks so much for being interested in this Jupyter project. Yeah, so far we got a lot of questions of like, how this is done, whether or not it's like Figma or whether, we do it in After Effects. But I guess I can say that 80%, 90%, in fact, of these projects actually done on Figma. So only just very certain parts that I actually brought it over to After Effects. But yeah, I can pretty much show the big steps required, that is done on Figma today. Okay, so let me just bring you guys through from scratch. Okay, so okay, let's start with like a frame. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is the background color. Okay, so how I normally like starting like my web projects is by just creating a top bar immediately, taking out away the background. So in this case, I use BN's Mesh by BN Nix. If you guys know, yeah, he's some awesome font creator, and yeah, you guys should totally check him out. Yeah, I mean, I can just show you. If you guys haven't already know, he's like, yeah, she'll send the link later. But basically, I have downloaded a number of his fonts. Yeah, so for this one, it is BN Smash. Okay. Okay. So I'll name this top bar. Okay. So just to make things quicker, I'll just name like this stuff like menu items.
For those of you who haven't muted your mic, can you please mute it?
I think I hear a car.
Yeah, please drive carefully.
Thanks so much for joining, guys. Like I'm still like really fascinated that that you guys are interested in the process of this. Yeah. But in fact, actually, it is not very complicated per se. It's just a lot of effects sort of built onto one another, and ultimately, yeah, it's just a lot of small things making it into something bigger. Okay, so for this one, it will be my button. Okay, so normally, like to make it quick, how I do buttons is I don't have like a triangle in the background and stuff. Normally everything is in frames now, so I'll just like put this as 99. Okay, then I have to make sure that this is centered, so no matter where I stretch it, it's always there in the center. Okay, put this into the top bar. Yeah, and of course making sure that here is always aligned to the right and also center. Here, center and center, and here left and center. Okay, this is so, you know, no matter how we stretch it, it's still gonna be like right there. Okay, so once I put this in, align it to the top, make sure that it is scale. Okay, this is so that if I were to stretch this now, it is like, you know, following it together. All right. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I'll just make this into a component so that it will be easier. Okay, so now for, you know, the main like font. Okay, so anyway, yeah, this project basically sort of, you know, includes like stuff like basic parallax effects and some masking inside the bottle, and of course like blending modes in the bottle as well. So I guess these are the only three effects I can think of like, yeah, throughout the whole project. So yeah, I'll just bring you through how to get there. Okay, so now we have the top bar. Maybe okay, we can just like try with the bottle first. Okay. So for the bottle, I've just saved yeah, so I have a bottle and a shadow of the bottle here. So basically, this is kind of all we need for this. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys can see. Yeah. Okay. All right. So if I put them together, so now you can see that, you know, the shadow is under the bottle. Okay. And you know, sometimes because like the shadow it is not adjusted to the background yet, so just make sure that it's on the multiply mode so that no matter where you put it, it is having a shadow effect. Okay. So yeah, so the trick about this project is that how, you know, normally when you put a bottle without any masking or any sort of transparency going on, like what you get is basically like wait, let me just do this very quickly. So basically the text behind here. Oops. Yeah, what you get is like that, right? So basically you can see what's behind, and you know, you don't really get that sort of like exciting effect. So okay, so the trick here is basically okay, taking the bottle as one layer. So this will basically be kind of like your main like mask layer. So maybe I can just call this like a mask. Okay, I duplicate this layer. Okay, and the next one I have it as a screen mode blending. Okay, so I'll just like name here screen. Okay, then I duplicate the bottle again, and this time I'll have it at hard light. So basically what you want to do is you want to have like, you know, the dark parts and also like the bright parts of the bottle to kind of like multiply onto, you know, the mask area of the bottle, but you don't actually want the bottle to be there, so that's how you can actually see through and kind of see what's behind the bottle. Okay, I'll just show you how that works. Okay, so now that we have the highlight in front, screen behind, screen is for brightness basically, and highlight you can use like multiply, you know, like color burn, even like yeah, a couple of stuff here that you can just test around. But highlight basically it is like it's both the screen and also I think no, it's overlay and multiply if I'm not wrong. So basically you're getting the dark intensity and so the light intensity at once. Okay, so yeah, if yeah, so I think that's it. You can actually mask it now. Okay, so what we actually get now is this. Okay, so if you see, if I take the bottle here, you can actually see through, and you know, kind of like still get the bottle be over there. Okay, so the next thing is basically, you know, the part about how it looks like it's sort of turning is by having the trick of like the label inside there, right? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to kind of see like the size of, you know, the label that you want it to be. So assuming that this is the label, okay? So, okay, just put it as like maybe 250. And here I can just like maybe like 195. Okay, so this will be the label. Yeah, so do bear in mind that this is just basically like sort of like the place I want to mask the label in, but because you know how the label is going to be like up sort of like 90 degrees, you have to kind of flip it, right? So what you'll be seeing is basically a flip version of it. Okay, so I think I'll just do it. I'm better at explaining that. Okay, so the vertical, the horizontal, you know, width of this here, basically it is your vertical, as in, yeah, your vertical here. Sorry, wait, I'm a bit confused. Yeah, it's like the thickness here, which is 195, would be your horizontal here. Okay. Okay. So I'll create another one. Basically, okay, so let's make this like your label here. Take the logo. Okay. So yeah, anyway, like you know how we actually got into concepting about this project is that Jupiter is basically, you know, they have like moons and you know, the moons around it, like that's why we name it like as a product name. So we have it yeah, it's not Jupiter, it is, yeah, Europa, sorry. There you go. Yeah. These details are not important. It's more like, you know, so as long as you know, they kind of translate like the design of it. Yeah, so something like that, you know, I'm just going to create like a simple label here just to sort of like explain what I'm talking about. We have this at center. Okay, so okay, assuming this is like your label, okay? Okay, let's make it a component. All right, so it'll be easy from now on because anything you change in here is just going to reflect like throughout the project. Okay, I'll just duplicate sort of a kind of a child of it. Okay, you want to put it in here. Okay, so now when I see it in this thickness here, it's not as thick as what it should be. So basically, it should be 195. So because here the width is the height of the label. So what you want is to stretch it to 195. Okay. Oops, 195. Okay. And make sure you just like duplicate it. Make it easier. You can just auto layout. Okay. All right. So now I kind of have like a, you know, a strip of the label. Then I can actually put it in here. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to sort of like just bring it to the size of the bottle. Okay. Okay, snap it here. Then I want to click the content. All right. So for these effects, I mean, you can kind of experiment around. Something with a little bit like more, like see-through would be more interesting because you can kind of see like what's going on behind the bottle as well. So I mean, you can just like try any patterns or anything like that. But for this reason, I'm just going to like just show the logo on it. All right. So okay, now that we have like this main guy here. Okay, let's clean this up a bit. Okay, so I'll just name this like a bottle. Make it a component. Name it a bottle. Okay. Add a variant. Okay. So in this variant, what I actually want is that I select on this label and whatever is in it. Okay, wait, before that, okay, so within each of these sort of components here, yeah, basically all the labels here, you want to kind of auto layout one more time. So like, okay, I have like the auto layout clip inside this frame. Okay, so that I can easily like sort of like align it. You get what I mean later. Okay, so okay. Oh yeah, so one thing you have to make sure that your layers are the same name. So in this case, okay, I can just put it at A so that it's not confusing later. Okay. Make another variant. All right. So for this example, we kind of just need like 3 variants of this because like one of it will be the bottle when it's at the top. The next one is at the middle and then the bottom. Okay. So when it's at the top, basically you want it to sort of be aligned here. So if you see like on the right here, so it's aligned to the top. Then when it is in the middle, you want it to be here in the middle. Okay. And when it's at the bottom, you want it to be aligned to the bottom. Yeah. So basically, if you translate it here on this grid, now the first bottle will be at the top part here. Then the next bottle will be somewhere here, and the third one would be somewhere here. Yeah. So basically, you get that rolling thing going on. Okay. Let me do an example to show you. Okay, make sure that this is sort of always at the top. Yeah, these things are actually like kind of important to set at the start of the project so that regardless like in the middle, if clients sometimes say that they want to change this and that, you can just kind of adapt it really easily, like without sort of like always readjusting stuff. Like okay, so like this is like my best friend over here. I always use them. So in this case, because I want it to be in the middle, I have it center and at the top. So the reason being is so that if I were to like rescale the page or anything like that, it's like it wouldn't affect anything on top. Yeah. Okay. Why is this so jarring? Okay. So for simplicity, I'll just like sort of use sample text here and a sample button here. Yeah, sometimes you can get like kind of messy, but basically it's just about realigning your layers and shop now and sort of just like reorganizing like my thoughts as well. Okay. Okay, so basically now that we kind of have like the kind of a basic structure of it, I'll just show you guys like how it will look in a screen frame. So if I just take this over here, dump it in here. Okay. Then I will just duplicate this. Okay. Now I'll go to prototype. Okay, just to quickly show you guys. Okay. Connect this to this screen. So on click, I'll just have it like as smart animate and custom this here. So over here, you kind of want to just like, stretch it out to make something like an S. Here, maybe I can have it like real slow so that you guys can see. Yeah, just like bring it back here when I click. Okay. Yeah. You kind of also want to make sure that, okay, so assuming that this is when you scroll, okay, make sure that the bottle is still in the middle. Okay. Okay. So basically, now that we have already like, done the variants of the bottle, okay, then set the prototype, now that this is the frame of destination, you want to have the bottle on the second variant. So meaning that when it reaches the middle part, it is going to change into this form of the bottle. Okay, so let's try that out. Okay, so if I click now, oops, it's kind of, yeah, it's turning the correct way, right? Oh no, it isn't. Yeah. So basically, yeah, you kind of want it to orientate like, okay, so my bad. So it's actually the other way around. I think over here is the bottom, and over here is top. Sorry if this is like really confusing because I'm also figuring out as I talk. Yeah, this is more like it. Okay. All right. So, oh yeah, sorry guys. Maybe I'll just like stop right here and I know I sound like really scattered and stuff, but I would like open like if you guys have any questions so far, you guys can follow what's going on.
Yeah, so far so good, Daniel.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Because if you guys have any questions anytime, you just like leave it in the chat and I will just like once I wrap this up, we can just like jump right into the questions. All right. Okay, so basically, okay, now that we kind of have like the bottle down, so most of the other stuff is like parallax stuff. So it's kind of just about building like the content of it. Okay, so far, I mean, I think in the previous class, I talked a little bit about like parallax and how there's a foreground and background. So the foreground basically it is like the layer that moves faster, and because it moves faster, it kind of covers a larger vertical height as well, so that it kind of ends at the same time as the background. Wait, I kind of have to show that I'm not really good at explaining that part. Okay. Okay, so let's just say, okay, this is the background. I'll name this the background layer and the foreground layer. I'll just cancel the background. Okay. So the large Europa and also the text would be in the background. So the foreground would consist of like the main like large copies that you want it to move faster. So for that, I'll just like put it here, in white. Maybe about this size. Okay, maybe somewhere like here. Okay, so for this, I'll just like put sample text title. Okay. And copy. And a button. Okay. Kind of want to just like, take them together and also like auto layout so that they are always like stuck together. So, okay, this would be the first like text part under the title. Then next you would have like another one maybe here. Okay, because like, this is one fold over here, second fold, maybe somewhere like the third fold, it would be somewhere here. So I'm just like kind of like trying it out right now. So I'm not sure if it actually would land correctly, but it's just about like keep trying and see where it should be placed. I'm sure there's like a more systematic way of kind of actually doing this, but so that we can move this quicker, I'll just like show it this way. Okay, sample text, sample text. Then there's I think like imagery here. Rounded corners. Yeah, another sample text. And for this one, maybe we can have like something a little bit different, like some points or something like that. Okay. For points, you kind of want to just also auto layout and make them horizontal, stuff like that. Maybe like make this much smaller. Yeah, something like that. So that now that we have like the text and this, and we just duplicate them. Okay. And I think that should be it. Or is it this side? Okay. Something like that. Okay. The font also, preferably for this effect to sort of like look better. I also chose to make it an outline instead, so that you can kind of see like the background with like look like the galaxy, the stars and all that moving behind it. All right. So that now that we have like this layer, we have this layer, a background. The background will consist mostly of like imageries and large text like this one. I think that's an image. I should say there's an image here. Okay, I'll make this into a component, the foreground, and the background also a component. Okay, so I'll just like dump both of them into the main frames as well. Okay, take away the old stuff like this one, this one, this one I don't want because I have like the new one. Oops. Not forgetting the bottle. What is this? All right, so now, okay, so if you see, basically they're all in here, just that they are in this frame. Okay, make sure that, you know, the background is like under the foreground and the bottle above them all. Wait, sorry, the foreground should be above the bottle. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay, oops. I forgot to put the button in the background. Okay. Yeah, I just want to duplicate all the layers in here. Okay. Put it in here. Whatever is old, I just want to delete it. Because I just want to keep like the prototype, the same prototype, but I kind of want to, you know, to use this new the assets that I just made. Okay, so basically for this frame, it is going to be it as you scroll until midway. Okay, so if you bring like okay, sorry, the top bar, you also should put like in the background, sorry. Okay, so you kind of don't need another top bar here. So the top bar is basically in the background layer. Yeah, it's here. Okay, so all we have is like just 3 simple layers: the foreground, the bottle, and the background. Okay, yeah. So make sure that the layers are named the same. Okay, then now we can try it out. Okay, so how this could be really quick is that like the foreground, you can just kind of align it to the middle. Wait, okay. Yeah, align it to the middle. Okay. The same goes for the background. Align it to the middle. The bottle, you can on variant 2, and the first bottle on the default. Okay. So then now I'll make another one more for the when you scroll to the bottom. Okay, I'll take this one just now where it goes back to the first frame. I'll bring it like now to the third frame so that it kind of moves like all the way to the bottom instead of going back to the top. Okay, so in this one, I'll just make sure that I align it to the bottom. Okay, same goes for the background, align it to the bottom. Okay. Make sure the bottle is also set to variant 3. Okay. I'm hoping this works. So let's try it out. Okay, just to make it like maybe this one could be like image that's just slightly faded. Why is it not? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, so I just want to make sure that I reset like all overrides, because sometimes like I accidentally change something that is going on in these new frames. So I just want to basically just make them all back to, you know, the original sort of properties set in the component. Okay, reset all changes. Same goes for this. Reset all changes. Reset all changes. Okay. So now it should probably work well. So if you see now with the parallax, yeah, I guess the effects would actually come into play more. But basically, you kind of also, need to fill it up, you know, with like the content all the way to the bottom to kind of have that more dramatic effect. But yeah, I mean, a lot of sort of like the movements is also like, you know, with the usage of like GIFs and yeah, like even like the dust in front is basically another parallax layer of it. But just for the speed of it, basically I think this is kind of like the core techniques that is used to produce this website. So yeah, if you guys have any questions so far, like I think we can like kind of like dig even deeper into any further like inquiries or like anything that you guys have in mind. I can just totally like get in there. You guys have any questions so far? Oh yeah. One more other thing about the warp effect is that how it's okay. So basically, how sometimes you see like inside the bottle, like that, like there's an illusion of how it is, warped. The words behind it. Yeah. So basically, I just produced like I took the entire background of it and I put it in Photoshop. You can use Photoshop or After Effects, and you can just like just manually like just warp it and put it back into Figma and clip it in the bottle. So meaning that like you are seeing a warp image of it in the bottle. Yeah. So that's another just one more step in creating it. But yeah, it is just that, it is no like special effects used within Figma or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. So any questions so far about the step by step? Then maybe we can try and help you guys address it. If you have any specific questions. And just leave it at the chat. Yeah. So it's actually just really utilizing some of these basic effects that's really readily available within Figma to kind of manipulate, as you wish and as you can imagine, so it's really not it's not crazy in terms of how the kind of tools that we use, but it really is just about figuring out different ways you can use the common techniques, so to speak. Yeah, I see some people are typing, so if you have any other questions. Oh, so the wine bottle and all this, really, it's just
Yeah. I mean, you can kind of like get it from any like mockup site, or you can basically just like use any bottle. You can use a picture you have taken of a mockup or a bottle or anything, and basically like the only thing you need here is just the object itself, which preferably have like the transparency property of it, meaning that the object basically is made of glass or something like that, and the shadow of it, like that's kind of like the only thing you need to produce this effect. So yeah.
Yeah. So Resu asks, is this particular design already developed or deployed as a site? So at the moment, no one has actually taken this site and developed it. I'm not really sure about its feasibility in the real world. But if any of you guys are interested to give it a try, that would be really cool to actually see that it can actually work. So feel free to try it out if you want to. Bruna asks, are you going to show how to do the glass refraction? So that was what we were talking about, the warped effect within the glass. So actually what happened is that you can take the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
The-
Maybe I'll just like like okay, so okay, cool.
Okay, wait, before we get into that, let me just answer one more question. So the walls asks, will it be really cool to use any bottle because the bottle looks transparent? Yeah, you can really use any glass thing, bottle or
Yeah.
or a glass cup, anything that you feel the transparent effect can actually apply in the same way.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool as well. Even a plastic bottle, anything that's transparent would be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you want to show the refraction, you need to make sure you have to share your whole desktop because now they only see your Figma.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. 1 second. Let me just make sure that we share the whole screen. Okay, so now you should see our whole desktop. Okay.
All right. Okay. So basically, okay, to keep it simple, I'll just like probably show what it's like on the top part of this page. Okay. So okay. So assuming that I'm taking like this section here. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to just like save like the top part of it. Can just save it like as a PNG. One second. All right. So in here, I mean, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can use like distort glass, or you can even like manually use the like liquify. So basically what you want to do is you want to like kind of just like warp it a little bit. Okay, so this is like, you can kind of imagine like, when you look through a glass, like how it would look like, so you can just like play around a little bit like with the brush size and kind of do stuff like this. In After Effects, you can kind of even, like make the warp like move like continuously, but if you want to just keep it in Figma, I think like this is kind of like a easy trick that kinds of does the job as well. Okay, so I'll just export like this one. Yeah, don't follow the way I name layers again because it's like super lazy. Okay, so now we are back in Figma. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to show like the bottle, being moving to the middle of the screen. So what I'll do is I'll just take this the layer. So I'll put it in the bottle. Okay. Oops. Make sure you put like under all of it, under the highlights and the screen. Oh yeah, and also if you want to make sure that the top part of the bottle doesn't sort of like interfere with whatever is going on, because you have to remember this is kind of a transparent layer as well. So you just want to have like a mask of this part out so that it's out of the part that is moving. So I'll just name this like the top. Okay, and I'll put it like in here. Okay, so that it is like just there and doesn't do anything. Okay, so now I kind of have to copy this. into this. Basically, you just said like I would have to did this effect from the start, then I can kind of do it in the same process I did earlier, just that now because a lot of things is starting to evolve, so I kind of just like copy the entire stuff I have in here into this so that I don't have to like keep like renaming it and stuff like that. So yeah. So for this one, the label, you know, I'll just put it like to the middle. Okay. Oh yeah. So and also of course you have to put your this layer to somewhere like in the middle. So this is like the warp layer. Okay, so you can put it like somewhere here. Okay, so for this effect, this sample I'll just like kind of show you just a simple top to middle part. Okay, so copying this bottle. Okay, so the bottle in here. Okay, so if you look at it closely, you can see that, you know, it's warped inside there. And so whatever you see that's warped in there is basically it's just kind of like the layer previously now warped within a bottle. So yeah, because like, you know, I move stuff around, so it's actually supposed to be in the same position, but I think you get what I mean, like, you know, oops. Like, yeah, but imagine, you know, if the background is aligned, then I guess you can get that trick that I'm talking about. Yeah, you know, it doesn't move to the third one. Yeah, this is like a super like quick sort of explanation for what I'm talking about.
Yeah, is that clear for most of you? Like, do you have any questions about that? Does it make sense? You can all type in the chat. In the meantime, Sylvia, hi Sylvia.
Sylvia.
He asked, how many times out of 10 do we show a prototype to the client and to the developer? How often do we create it for them? So typically, I would say that almost maybe at the very most, like 9 out of 10 times, we do actually do prototypes for the client, especially if it's an app. For websites, if it's very straightforward, like if it's an e-commerce, there's not a lot of interaction and there's not a lot of guesses to how they connect from one page to another, then we don't really have to show the whole prototype. But in cases where we have to show a lot of interaction, then we do show them prototypes either on Figma itself, or we kind of quickly recreate it in After Effects just to show how we imagine it to work. So it works the same way. Wherever we send to the client to imagine the interaction, we will use that same video file or whatever to send it to the developer as well. Or even the client sends it to their own developer. So we definitely, I would say 9 out of 10 times we definitely do that. Yeah, Milani says that clients love moving stuff. It's like the kids in the playground. It's true. Some clients are like, can I have like moving mist, like just some ambient mist, and you're like, whoa, that's fire. That's so cool. It's really funny. Yeah, and Milani says the scary part is when they don't understand it's just a prototype and the kids start to complain that the toy doesn't work. Yeah, it's true as well. Like sometimes sometimes it's like they either don't know how to use the prototype, or they feel they don't understand that sometimes this is just a visualization, and it really is up to the developer to tell us what can and cannot be done. So what we can create for them is like an idealized version of what we imagine the site can be and could be, but whether it can be fully realized, that's like a whole other thing. But yeah, Any other questions in terms of the technique? I hope we weren't going too fast. I'm pretty sure this time I've recorded it. I see the red light, so I'm pretty sure that it's recorded. But yeah, any other questions that we can quickly go over so that you guys can watch back and see. Mr. 26 asks, is it possible to do the reflection effect in After Effects and export it to a GIF file and then put it on Figma in the same way as that?
Yeah, you can, put like a GIF in Figma, but the thing is, you can't actually tie it with like the prototype, because like it is going to be pretty tricky to kind of like time, like the start of the GIF with like, the start of the first frame of the prototype and the end of the GIF to the end of the prototype. So normally I would try to avoid like tying like the smart animate with like GIF for that reason. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, basically you can do that, but it doesn't work on a prototype.
Yeah, it doesn't work on a prototype. Like GIFs normally I would use them just as like kind of like an ambient image around for it to just like look in a background, but it's not like as part of like the main interaction. Yeah.
Yeah. So any more questions before we wrap up? So the other thing also is with this tutorial thingy, right? Like we would really like it if you guys could try these techniques out. Either whether you want to replicate this exact same one or if you want to create your own version. It would be really cool for us to see what you guys come up with. And if you want to, we can also definitely give you feedback and review, and hopefully that will actually help you to practice these techniques, because we do get these people ask us to do this tutorial a lot, but it's always through practice that you really remember and understand the whole theory of it. So yeah, you can take this as your exercise and try these techniques out and share them in the design submission, or it's design submission channel. That it'll be really cool to see how you guys what you guys learn from this, basically, because sometimes it's like I feel like we're talking to a wall. So just feel free to share what you guys created, and then we can have more discussions like this, and then hopefully we can help even more from there. Okay, so any further questions? If not, then I think that's all the time we have. Okay, so I am guessing that there isn't any more. So thank you so much. Oh wait, I see two people
Guys.
typing. Wait.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, like for coming and for taking interest in this.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah, it's so nice. So
Thanks, Daniel.
thank you.
Thank you. It's like I kind of feel bad because I suck so bad at teaching. But I would love to like answer like questions. I'm much like better at just explaining like in a question format. So yeah, I'll totally love to help you guys. If you guys have anything you want to like dig deeper, or like any particular techniques as part of this lesson. So just let me know.
Yeah, you can definitely take the Figma file that we have already shared in the Discord for this particular Jupyter project and use that as your reference, because that's a much better reference than the file. That's cleaner, at least, has everything that you need there than the file that we just made. So you can use that as your reference and then just share everything with us.
Yeah, if there's any holes in between that you kind of like wonder like, oh, is this supposed to be there, or how this works, you can just like shoot us a question and we just like answer you right away.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day or good night wherever you are.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Good night.